like, share, subscribe. Let's get it. We are on Indiana under Kurt Signetti. Indiana, I thought now people you could argue with anybody and anybody to say, well, they lucked out. Indiana lucked out. They had an easy type of schedule. They really um I've heard everything about Indiana. They came out of nowhere and they smacked everybody in the mouth. I mean, if you're talking about somebody who had a season alone that just totally flipped. You go from 3-9 and overall, and I think they were like 1-8 in the conference the year prior, 2023. And then you go to 11-1 and 8-1 in a conference. That's different. That is different. And I don't think a lot of the historic football, college football fans appreciated what Indiana was able to do. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was more than just a Cinderella season for Indiana. Now, will they be 11-1 in this Big Ten? We're going to find out because we look at the schedules here on a quick looks, correct? So we're going to find out what's ahead of Indiana. But we do know that Kirk Cinetti can coach, and he could coach very well. And they got in some transfers and offensively that I think that is going to help him. If one thing he went through the portal heavy because, believe it or not, Indiana has lost a ton. They've lost a ton of their guys have moved on. And they got to replace that. Now, whether a lot of these guys will be draft picks or not, that to me, doesn't matter, because at the college level, they were good to great players. You know what I mean? And they were good enough to be 11-1 and 8-1 in the conference at college football. So, without further ado, I'll get up into talking about it. They had a lot of transfers. Indiana did. We could start off with Mekhi Jackson transferring in, wide receiver from Appalachian State, 6 foot, 200 pounds, had 46 receptions, 745 yards, 5 touchdowns on the season. We could talk. He's coming in and he's productive. He's going to have something to do with with their production at receiver. Pretty sure of it. Of course, they don't have Miles Price, Miles Cross, but that Elijah Surratt will be returning. He'll be coming back. Omar Cooper, he'll be back there again. So who's going to be throwing these guys the ball? Even though college football, it's largely about your running game, right? Fernando Mendoza transferred in from Cal. He was one of the best quarterbacks sought after in there. He's 6'5", 225 pounds, threw for 3,000 yards, had a 68 completion percentage, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's great. And then you look at the run. So okay, so then we look at the running back position. What do we do at the running back position? You say to yourself, okay, so we got to shore that up because he's lost a couple of his backs. But you know that Kurt Signetti, the way that offense was ran last year, they like to use multiple backs. So they grabbed Roman Hemby from Maryland. And it was one of his off seasons, granted, last year. He had 607 yards and 6 touchdowns. I believe the season before that, he had about 600 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. 6 foot, 208 pounds. Bigger back, could move, and he can get it done. He definitely can move. Definitely a good running back. That's not the only running back transfer they got in. They got to get their 1-2 punch, right? Still got Caleb Black over there. So they said, let's get Lee Beebe Jr. from UAB. 884 yards, 7 touchdowns, 5'10", 220 pounds. He likes his bigger, stronger backs, as we do know. But to get that, you got to shore up the offensive line, and we got to get some tight ends, right? So he got 2 different tight ends. He got Riley Norkowalski from Wisconsin. He had only 11 receptions, 74 yards, but more 6'1", 243 pounds. More one of those blocking type of guy. Holden States from Tennessee. He was started off at Notre Dame, then he went to Tennessee. 6'4", 248 pounds. And I mean, his last season stats, he had 15 receptions, 131 yards, and a touchdown. But you got to shore up that, you know. And so you saying, okay, we kind of seeing what they're doing there. Also got in Zen Milewski from Ohio State, offensive tackle, 6'6", 319 pounds. So now they going somewhere because they seeing what they're doing. They're liking the coaching up there. They got Khalil Benson. I'm not huge on Khalil Benson being there. I'm not, because I've seen what he's done, but I've also seen great offensive line play help Khalil Benson be hidden within the freight. And I believe Kirsinetti and those guys at Indiana are saying, you're a guard. And I was trying to explain that to people last year that Indiana, even when he was at Indiana prior to going to Colorado, they would sometimes put an extra offensive lineman on the outside of Khalil Benson. They would do that. And he also played a little guard at Colorado. I think that was his better. He was better at that position. Tackle just kind of just wasn't it for him. You know what I mean? But he'll be there. Pat Coogan from Notre Dame. They grabbed him up, center, 6'5", 310 pounds. And these guys will have a chance, but under Kirsinetti, no doubt in my mind, these guys is going to just do fine. They're going to do fine because it's Kirsinetti. Now, if it was anybody else, I would probably, if it was a lot of different coaches out there, I'd probably question these transfers coming in. But we seen what he did with a lot of the guys that came in from when he transferred, and from James Madison. And we seen what he was able to do with that team with the transfer. So these guys got to come in. So he went and grabbed out on the defensive side. They got in a couple of defensive tackles. They got Dominic Radcliffe from Texas State. He was also at Louisiana, but last season he had 9 solo tackles, 2 sacks. That's what you want about a guy like him. You get Jose Wheeler from Western Kentucky, 29 solo tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble, 6'3", 300 pounds. Jose Wheeler is transferred in. And now that's the kind of production you want. Now that's because that's where they were missing guys at, right? That's where they were missing guys. They're going to miss CJ West, Tyson Lawton. They're going to miss those guys. Cornerback, they got to transfer in. Amarian Knighton, transferred in from Northern Illinois. 10 solo tackles, an interception, 3 passes defended. Not much prediction coming there. 6 foot, 174 pounds he is. Not much production coming out of him. But I don't know if he'll be starting, but they still got D'Angelo Pons, Amari Farrell, Jamari Sharp. These are, you know what I mean? Like guys that's been around and in that system with Kirsinetti, man. So, I mean, like, it don't take rocket science, but you know, Byron Baldwin, freshman supposed to be like that. Supposed to be like that from Baltimore, Maryland. From Maryland, man, he's supposed to be like that. 6'2", 195 pounds from St. Francis Academy. He'll definitely be causing Lewis Moore some problems. The free safety they got him from Ole Miss, 5'11", 200 pounds. He had 17 solo tackles, no interceptions, 1 pass defended. So he'll definitely, without a doubt, be fighting him for that starting position because they're okay, I think I could get that out of my true freshman, right? Devin Boykin coming in nickel back from North Carolina State, 5'10", 195 pounds. Didn't play last year, you know what I mean? But they're probably going to base it off of what his potential was because he's been around, right? And Kirsinetti is just a hell of a coach. So really, I look at this and I say, with all these transfers in, and now he's had a lot of his James Madison guys kind of move on, and some of the guys he get retained, but he's a hell of a coach. And with that being said, I don't think that they'll probably be back. Well, we'll see. Let's take a look at their schedule, and we'll see what's up with their schedule right now. We're looking at their schedule, the Crimson and Cream game, April 17th. So August 30th starts the season at home, Old Dominion. September 6th, Kennesaw State at home. September 13th at home versus Indiana State. September 20th, Illinois at home. September 27th, they're on the road versus Iowa. October 4th is their first bye week. October 11th, they're at Oregon. October 18th, at home versus Michigan State. October 25th, they're at home versus UCLA. November 1st, they're on the road versus Maryland. November 8th, on the road versus Penn State. November 15th, at home versus Wisconsin. November 22nd is their second bye week. November 29th, at Purdue. On the road versus Purdue. So, yeah, I mean, when you look at their schedule, you say, okay, they have the potential to start off really good and to hold on to the rankings. Will Illinois knock them off? Will Iowa knock them off? You know, having Oregon and Penn State so late in the season can ruin their season. I mean, well, you got Oregon in the middle of the season. In the middle of the season, they have the potential to really start off 5-0. They could, but we have to see at least 3-2 going into Oregon, and that's assuming they lose to Illinois and Iowa. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments about Indiana and what Indiana's schedule looks like and what you think they're going to do.